Long as an attempt to squeeze into the Dark Souls gameplay genre with the title notably easier than almost any other, however, it ultimately grows stale despite feeling very enjoyable at first. A game that's so focused on its dodge mechanic that everything else feels like a plus one at a dinner party where everyone really just wants to see the main act a game. With a couple good ideas and one sharp into a razor edge that somehow covers both sides of a double-edged sword. That ends up eventually cutting you if you play it long enough. You could say Will Long has Team Ninja's Sakura, but it does not have the complexity, nowhere near the level design you could also say is their Neo 3, but it lacks the finesse, the weaponry and the exciting need to perform instead. It feels like an odd mix of Fire Emblem Warriors, Dead or Alive Ninja Gaiden, and Neo. Not always a bad thing, but not always the smoothest going either. My brand is me, my sponsor is me, this is Queric. You like the review, it one like takes you subtle glance towards really any Dark Souls. Successful titles see that it's not just the weapons, the attacks, the creatures of the gameplay or the locations that beckon gamers for just one more trudge out in the swamp of 1,000 bad days. It's a combination of all those things, and the gameplay strict endurance the punishing players who are not paying attention, and if even one element is too far out of alignment, then it's the player who is punished, or at least it's most evident from Bloodborne in its varied Victorian maze-like homesteads to the satisfactories of human catastrophe that have to be explored until no dark corners remain. It what does Will Long offer, and does gameplay keep you coming back into us? You as a mysterious soldier in 184 AD later Han Dynasty China and lands overrun by chaos and destructions. The imperial dynasty that prospered for many years is now about to collapse, and all sorts of creatures and aerial plasmod around the land. It's your job, with the growing collections of friends and commanders, to read Havel through the land first. Valance, a third-person action game at its very basic, and like many titles within this genre, it's a statistic-driven foray into what it would be like to take a second edition DD character into real-time combat, spreading skills and stats across many pages, as well as weapon synergies for the elements of magic that you can upgrade as you continue playing the game pretty much. Everything in this game matters somewhere. Statistics drive you, the range, the heighting, the dodging, the damage taken during blocks, while a system of synergies with your spiritual elements indicates a close relationships with the weapons, each weapon having different grades for the elements like water or fire raising, or lowering the ability. You also have 13 weapon types, from swords and spears, large glaive steps, dual weapons and hammers, and pull accesses. If following is missing anything, it's probably not a big enough deal to care. The only real missing I think is a lot of the chained weapons we see in a lot of other games. And now each weapon has its own moves, shifting more or less quickly depending on your character's equip weight, as well as the weapon style that reflects it and builds upon it. Entering battle with your primary weapon, and that happens to be sleek and fast and outfitted with a special leaping attack, can feel truly different than your secondary weapon, which may be slow, that a spirit attack is actually the smarter way to enter into combat. However, moving between those moves is not as slick as we have seen in the other games like Neo due to the game's reliance on one button. And it's hanging on that dodge button, which I will get to later, feels like weapon switch sort of left to be a secondary or even tertiary strategy, a deep set last ditch effort if the game's true systems have not resulted in enemy death versus a seamless addition in the game itself. And its moves are three basic systems. The first is a combo system using one button for normal attacks. In these combos, that continually builds your spirit, and your spirit attack is the next one that burns away the spirit you have built up and does damage equal to the spirit that you have burnt many times, breaking through enemy blocks. Now the other is your ability to dodge is talked about before. This is not the same as block, which slowly gets broken down during an onslaught. The dodge gets you out of the way of the attacks as well as the special spirit attacks, which cannot be blocked in the first place and send the enemy usually slightly off balance, while long claws is a part of the equations. And you can tell because like games in the past where a hit and Y to win was a joke. Long's hitting B to win not so much of a joke, it's a solid fact in this game and it's okay, but it does continually feel a different way than what you may add as spirits. Thanks for watching, subscribe to my channel and press like button on this video. Goodbye.